Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another update video. In this video I have new starts and I have a ton of progress on things because I worked on a lot of things for only like a day or two, but I just wanted to keep working on different projects because I have a lot of things that I'm still trying to get done before the end of the year because I had set a lot of goals at the beginning of the year. So anyways, to start with, I will start with a new start that I had, and also it will be the only things I purchased, I think, is on October 1st, it was Witchy Stitcher Day, where people are showing their support for Witchy Stitcher who has cancer, and they were buying her charts or also just stitching and sharing her charts. So I ended up buying 3 of the Witchy Stitcher charts, and one of them I ended up starting on the same day. So I will first talk about the 2 that I didn't start, and I also picked out fabric for them, and I'm not going to start them right now because I only want to work on one Witchy Stitcher project at a time, but I decided that I'm trying to like buy charts that I already have fabric for, and then I am pulling the fabric from my stash and then kind of putting it aside so that I will save that fabric for that chart, and just trying like work through some of my stash of like fabric and stuff that I have. So the first chart that I will show, and I will show the fabric that I think I'm going to use, is I got the chart Pumpkin Spice Latte Zombies, which is a very fun chart. Like, pumpkin spice is just like, it says they're here, and it's all dramatic because everyone goes crazy for pumpkin spice in the fall. And I think I'm going to do it on this fabric here, which is a piece of 22 count fabric that I had left in my stash. I had actually used this fabric for the Nightmare Before Christmas chart that's stitched here, and I figured this would work for it. And I like, you know, purple is my favorite color anyway, so I love using purple for Halloween-y things because, you know, purple and orange are like the main Halloween colors. And so I got that one. And then I also got a chart that is a vintage pumpkin, and it says, I think, Halloween Gathering or something. Oh, the picture will be inserted. And for that, I think I'm going to stitch it on a piece of, this is I think 28 count fabric that I dyed myself. I was just testing out like colors, so it's kind of like a weird color. It's like gray but also kind of purpley at the same time. And so I figured I will stitch it on this. It's a very long skinny piece. So this piece of fabric, I've had it for a while, and like I said, I was just kind of testing out colors one time, and so I just took like small pieces of fabric to just see how dyes would look with things. And so I haven't really known what to do with it, and then I did the calculations, and that piece will fit on here, so I figured it's perfect. It will get a piece of fabric out of my stash at the same time as buying a fun chart. And so I have those 2 stored in this project bag, and this project bag is also where the new start for the Witchy Stitcher is, so I figure that when I finish the chart that I'm stitching now from Witchy Stitcher, I can just start one of the next charts from Witchy Stitcher that's already has the fabric in the bag. So the chart that I ended up starting though is called Festive Frosted Pumpkin Cottage, and I love it because it's like a Halloween house that's decorated for Christmas. So it's like my 2 favorite things, just throw them together. I love Christmas. I also love Halloween. I love just the end time of year because it has all the holidays, so it's just a fun time. And so I ended up starting that chart on, I don't remember what this fabric is called. I should have looked it up. I think the fabric is Deep Sea, and it's the fabric that I used in the beginning of the year for the Big Ship of Lesser Commitment when I stitched that. So here it is. I will show you. It's like kind of like a bluey, greeny fabric. I thought about stitching it on a darker fabric because that is the way it's shown on the Witchy Stitcher website. They have it shown on like a few different like backgrounds, and one of them is really dark. So I thought about doing a dark fabric, but then I was like, no, I want to do something that kind of for when I am going to keep this up at Christmas time, like I have to. So it'll be up at like Halloween and Christmas. And so I wanted something that was kind of a lighter fabric so it wouldn't look as like spooky Halloween all the time. And this is my little start. I ended up starting in the middle just because for charts that don't have like clear edges, it's hard to kind of start around the outside. So I started in the middle, worked my way up so that I can start stitching down the chart. And I need to move the hoop though because there is some smoke that needs to go up higher, so I don't have that stitched yet, but I'm trying to get the top part stitched so that I can just start working down. I have one of the little ghosts with the little hat, which is just adorable, like a little ghost with a hat. They're just ready for Christmas, and I love it. And I think this fabric is a 28 count, so I'm doing 2/2 full cross. And I am loving the way it's stitching up. And it's also pretty small compared to what I normally stitch. I think there's only like 7,000 stitches in this chart, so it should hopefully go pretty quickly. I will say that I'm not planning on trying to get it finished this year. I think my plan for this will be to get it finished next year so that I can have it ready for Halloween and Christmas next year. So that's my plan. That will be a fun one to keep working on. And I love it. It's just so cute. Like, in the picture you can see there's like a snowman, but it's made out of pumpkins. That's adorable. But so I got that. I worked on that for a couple days when I was like watching movies. I watched the Haunted Mansion movie, came out on Disney Plus, so I watched that movie and it was pretty cute. I liked it. So the next thing I will show, I'll get my seasonal stitching out of the way first, I guess. So the next one I will show is Tonight We Ride, which is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I almost forgot. And I will insert pictures of where it was before I started working on it. And here it is now. I was just focusing on working on the moon, and I didn't work on this one that much because I'm only really stitching on like my Halloween pieces when I watch movies, and I didn't watch that many Halloween movies. So I just worked on the moon, which is fun. I love the way that it is looking already. And the fabric that I'm using for this is Halloween by Witch's Garden Crafts on Etsy. It's a 16 count, 2/1 full cross. And this is also something that I'm not planning on finishing this year. I would like to take into next year and give myself things that I can finish next year because most of my other projects are so large that they will not be finished next year. And this is like 15,000 stitches total, I think. So it will be something that I can finish next year just to give myself a couple finishes because, like I said, I have a lot of full coverages that aren't like anywhere close to being finished. And the next thing that I will show is, I'll do this one. This is Yennefer, which is charted by Charting Creations. And I pulled this one out because my goal for the year was I wanted to finish all of the black because I'm stitching this chart Extreme Cross Country by Color. And I am nowhere close to finishing the black. I still have, I think, 13,000 stitches of black left. And so that's not going to happen this year, but I wanted to make some more progress on it. So I will insert where it was before. And here it is now, just stitching a ton of black. And I decided because right now I'm stitching in her hair, and her hair has a ton of black, but it also has a few like little like spots where there will be other colors. And so what I did is I started stitching the outline of her hair, going around and kind of like leaving the spaces that need to be left, but I want it to be so where I can just fill in the black without looking at the chart. So that's what I did in this section here, is I outlined the section and now I can just fill in the black without looking at the chart. And that will just make it go a little bit faster because I can stitch this anywhere without needing the pattern with me because I can just fill it in. And this is being stitched on 28 count, 2/1 10 stitch. Yeah, but I heard, like I said, most of what's left is her hair and then the black mask on her face, and it's just gonna be a lot of pretty much solid block stitching from here on out, which is, it goes really quick, so that's the nice thing, but it's kind of not that exciting, but that is what I got done on her. And I will cross it off. I made a list so I don't forget any of my charts. Next, I will show my travel stitching because it's also kind of a seasonal chart. And my travel stitching right now is I am stitching the chart Vampire's Lair, which is by Witch's Garden Crafts. And it's being stitched on a bookmark, and the bookmark came with the chart. So if you buy the bookmark on Witch's Garden Crafts, you also get the chart with it. And it's going pretty quick. So here is the bookmark and where it's at now. I almost have all of the colors filled in. Hold on, I'm gonna try and go back so it stops reflecting everything. I almost have all the colors filled in. I just need to do the black for the bats that are up in the sky. There's black in the skull that's down here. I'll get closer so you can see the skull. And then there's also light that goes over the candles. And then that's it. That's all the colors, I think. And then it will just be filling in all of the dark blue background. And that should hopefully go pretty quickly because I won't need to look at the pattern anymore, and I can just grab the colors and just stitch down. So I love it. I'm hoping to get it finished in October because, like I said, this is kind of a Halloween-y, spooky chart, you know, with the skull and stuff. So I want to get it finished, and then I will get to pick a new travel project, which I am not sure yet what I will pick yet as a travel project. I need to kind of look at that, but it's so cute. I love it. And then the next chart that I will show is one, and I pulled it out because I wanted to stitch again on 32 count fabric, 1/1 10th stitch, to see if I like it, because I am thinking about starting a chart during Flossmas on 32 count fabric. And so I wanted to just check and make sure, like, do I really like stitching on 32 count fabric? So that's why I pulled this one out. And that is Dark Cinderella, which is charted by Pain Free Crafts. And I'm stitching this one on a 32 count fabric. It's a gridded fabric, so it's better than, I'm stitching one of my charts on 36 count fabric, and it's a pain in the butt, 1/1 tent stitch. But I really like this because it's gridded fabric, and I also feel like the holes you can see better than the 36 count fabric that I'm using. So this is Dark Cinderella. I am stitching this one diagonally. For right now, I might switch later because of the way that the chart is laid out. So I'm stitching it diagonally. I think I started it December 31st. I think I used this for like a new year, new start thing. And my goal for the year was to finish 5 diagonals, and I think so far I have 4 finished, I think. Maybe. I need to check that again. So I'm almost finished with my diagonal goal for the year, but then I might switch because I'm getting over to where the dark colors start. And if you look at the chart, there's definitely like going to be like defined areas where there's just like certain colors in this area, certain colors are only in this area. So stitching diagonally might get harder because there will be like that jump where you're going to go from like it being dark to light and the colors won't continue down the diagonal at all. And so I think that it might be easier to start stitching going from up down just so that I can stitch like each area separately, you know, the light area and then the dark area. So that's what I'm thinking about doing after I finish the diagonal that I'm working on, but we will see. And I love it. So the whole thing is I'm thinking about a different project on 32 count 1/1 tent stitch, and I will be using CXC for that one because I already bought the floss. So if I start it, it's a chart. I bought the floss in 2020, and it's all CXC. I had decided for a while that I wasn't going to stitch the chart, but I recently was like, I have the floss, I already have the chart, I might as well start it because I do love the artwork. And the thing with CXC though is it's thicker than DMC. So normally I stitch on 28 count 2/1 tent stitch, but CXC on 28 count is very thick compared to the DMC. So I knew I didn't want to use 28 count. So now I'm thinking about 32 count 1/1, and I think that should give really good coverage because you can kind of see in this area here, this is DMC, that the dark colors, the coverage isn't as good. So I think the CXC would really improve that. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm either going to end up using a 25 count 2/1 for that project or 32 count, but I really would like to do 32 count because it's a really big project. I think the dimensions on it are like 700 by 500, so the 32 count will make it like a slightly smaller finish size because I don't have the wall space for like something that's that big, you know? So that's why I pulled this one out. I do love it though. Look at those colors. So that's one thing that I really love about this chart is that you get so many colors. So up here you have all the oranges. You can see it in the part threads. You have oranges. They kind of continue down here. And then you got this section where it turned green, which is pretty. There's a section where it was purple, which I loved. And then here it goes into like blues. And so you get to use so many colors. Just a rainbow going down the diagonal, which was very fun. So there was that. I think I'll be putting this one away though. Wait, I might keep working on it. I might try and finish that diagonal before I put it away, just that I'm not like left mid diagonal. So there was that, and now I only have 2 more projects to show, and then I can talk a little bit about plans. So the next one that I will show is Stardo Winter, which is charted by Glitch Stitch AU on Etsy, and this is a project that I would like to get finished in like November, December, so that's why I'm trying to keep working on it just a little bit every few days. And here's where I am on it right now. The last time you saw it, I think I was at 30%, and now I am at 40%, so I managed to get another 10% added to it. And I worked my way up to the top because I do prefer working from the top down, and now I am just filling in the sky, which is fun. And you can see here there's like the outline of clouds. I still need to stitch the white for the clouds, but I'm saving that for later because I don't want to stitch white right now. And then there's also some like white and gray here that is going to be the smoke for the chimney. So there's going to be a chimney here. And I am loving this one still. This is being stitched on a 28 count 2/1 tent stitch, and it's so cute. So this will also be staying out because, like I said, I want it finished in like November, December-ish so that it can be going up for the winter season. So. And the very last project is one that I have shown in my last few videos, and it will be hopefully being shown for a very long time, and that is Autumn Harmony, charted by Maxine Gadd. And this is a chart that I am planning on stitching a little bit every day. I have been keeping up with it. So my plan is if I do around 200 stitches every day, it will be finished by autumn of 2025, which is a very long time away. But like for large projects like this, you have to do something, is what I'm realizing. Like I have so many large projects that I don't have, that aren't that far, and I'm realizing like you just have to set like the goal that's far away, because that's the only way you're ever gonna get there. And so I'm working on her 200 stitches every day. Sometimes if I don't get to stitch on her, I will just do extra stitches the next few days. And I am putting all of my numbers into the app StitchPal, because then it will calculate how far you are and how long it will take you to finish it with the amount that you're stitching every day. And it's really fun because like I keep seeing the year get closer and closer. So like when I first started stitching on it, it said that I wouldn't finish it until like 2028, and now I am down to where it's saying like, oh, if you keep stitching on it like this, you will finish it in like 2026. And so it just keeps getting closer, you know, the more that I keep adding my stitches into it, which is fun to see. And so here is Autumn Harmony now. Oh, she's beautiful. I love it. I just love the colors, because here when I was stitching it was all kind of like browns that were kind of boring, and now I'm getting down to her wings, and the behind her wings is just a bunch of like oranges and reds, and it's just so fun. And then I got to stitch this orange leaf over here, which was also, I just love stitching the brighter colors that are in this chart. So I also did some stitches going there's a hair, stops my mouth. Anyways, I started stitching some of the parked threads in that were up here, just kind of wanted them out of the way. And so I did do some stitches over here just to get some parked threads in. And because I was also reaching the bottom here, I can't really stitch lower on the hoop because I had folded the fabric here. So this is the bottom part folded into the corner of the hoop. So I couldn't really stitch any lower, and I didn't want to move the hoop until I had done a video, just that it's easier to see like how far I got compared to where I took the picture, you know, so that the pictures are, you know, the same area. So then I just started stitching over this way and filling in. And I think that next time I am going to take this out of the hoop today, and then I will end up putting it into a bigger Q-snap that I have. I don't really use Q-snaps that much anymore. I really like hoops for some reason now. But for this one, I think I will put it into like an 11 by 17, and then it will give me more area to work in throughout like the time that I am stitching on it without having to move it. But there she is. This is an 18 count, 2/1 full cross. And she's gorgeous. I'm loving the way that this is turning out, because like at first when you're stitching it, like you don't have all the colors filled in, and it's just kind of not looking like it's going to look like the wing, and then all of a sudden you get the confetti stitches filled in, and you just start to see that like little spots for her wings coming in. So that is all that I did for stitching for the last couple of weeks, and my plans for the next week or two, I'm not sure when I'll film next again. I will keep working on Autumn Harmony because, you know, she's my, you know, big lofty goal, and then I will also keep stitching on Stardo Winter here so that I can try and get that closer to a finish. And then I also am planning on working on Walking in the Rain, which is by Artisy. I am stitching the large cropped version because there's a few different versions on their website for this chart, and I will show where it is. And so my plan for the month is I have this written down to work on for at least 2 days this month, so I would really like to get that time in. And I think what I want to try and do is stitch across the top row of the chart. I don't know if that's even possible. I would probably need to work on it for more than 2 days, but I really would like to reach the other corner and then be able to just start working my way down the chart. So there it is. This is a 25 count 2/1 tent stitch, and the colors. I just love the colors. I'm really happy to be stitching with fall autumny colors right now. And so that is all that I have like officially planned. I will probably also work on my Halloween charts if I do any like Halloween movie watching, but I am not sure yet what will happen with that. Anyways, that is all that I have to show. I will be back hopefully in a couple weeks with more progress. I have also been thinking about what I plan on doing for Flossmas, because I think I want to do Flossmas again this year, but I am not sure what I'm going to do, because last year I did stitching the advent calendar, and obviously I don't really need another advent calendar, so I'm not sure what I will do. Like I've had a few thoughts. So some of my thoughts are to just work only on my Christmas charts but rotate them throughout the month. I've also thought about doing another thing where last year I'd put a bunch of charts into a bucket and then I would pull out a chart to work on it every day. And so I thought about doing that again this year, but kind of doing it where I pull out the chart with a goal for that chart. So, you know, just because I still haven't reached all the goals that I have for my charts this year, so I could do that. Or I also thought about one of the things that I had talked about kind of earlier is there's a chart that I might start, which is Christmas 2 by Marchetti, and it's a Heaven and Earth Designs chart. And so I thought about starting that for Vlogmas, but I don't know. We will see. I'm thinking about it though, because I need to get the things kind of figured out so that if in November there's anything that I need to purchase, or if there's anything that I need to, like last year I pre-stitched the border for the advent calendar in November, so that in December all I had to stitch was like the inside portion. So I need to figure out like if there's anything that I need to be purchasing or stitching in the next like month and a half before December so I can have that ready. But I'm thinking about it. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't really seen anyone else talk about Vlogmas yet though. That is all that I have for this video though. Thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will be back soon, hopefully with another update video, and I hopefully make good progress on all the things, because that's what I've been wanting to work on, is just everything. So, bye!